The last person standing up.
Oh my God.
How are you, and what is your lovely question?
I'm fine, and you? And first of all, I'm so happy to see you again this year.
Me too, I'm happy to see me again.
Thank you, you remember me.
I don't remember you, but I wish I did. I barely remember me on most days.
Thank you. I wanted to ask if you did have fun to play in How to Get Away with Murder.
Yes.
With the great, really great Viola Davis. And the fact, I was really sad that you had a few episodes because you went in jail. That's so sad for me, and I was hoping to see your character again. And oops.
Me too. Look, I was falsely framed. Those of you who don't know, I did a couple episodes of How to Get Away with Murder, and it was awesome working with such a unique group of kids. They're so smart, those guys over there, and Viola obviously speaks for herself. She's who I want to be when I grow up, you know? She's just so talented and so beautiful and so sexy. She's such a strong, powerful woman. I should have been brought back to that show, right? Like, I was framed with drugs in my trunk. I was an innocent boy, and now I'm in jail in Georgia. But the problem is, I'm on another ABC show. I'm doing General Hospital, and so that's also an ABC produced show, so they're not pulling me from one show to put me on their other show. But maybe if you call the executive producer, perhaps, just tell them I'm willing and ready whenever they want me. I hope too. It's a great show to be on. It's a really, a cool way they tell those stories. You know, when you typically hear like, it's a lawyer show, you know, they can get boring. But that show is the furthest from boring. It's really great. I'd love to go back. Not as bad as I'd like to go back to season 13 of Supernatural, but you know, I'll take what I can get. They're both spectacular shows, full of great people. You know. Thank you for your question.
Thank you very much to you.
Of course. Hi there.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Do you want to come up here and drink some of this apple juice?
I can't.
Good.
I'm taking medication, so I'm not allowed.
Smart woman. I'm going to use that same excuse later when Jared and Jensen try to make me do it.
Unfortunately. Wait till I get off that medication.
I am just kidding. How are you? What's your question?
I was wondering if you could write one quality or skill on Jared, Jensen's and Misha's resume, what would it be?
Wow. Way to put me on the spot. That is a good question. If I had one skill, I mean, the obvious answer is charisma on all three behalves.
True.
You don't become really successful kind of on the level that they've all gained success without charisma in the town of Hollywood. You know, you have to be a people person, you have to be able to adapt to all people, and I think those three men exude charisma, as well as so many other things. I think family would be another trait I would put on their resume, and to mean it in so many different ways, the way they kind of treat the crew and the guest cast that come onto that show, and the way they perceive you guys and you guys perceive them. I think, you know, family's a big one, and compassion. Compassion is another one. You know, you either have a heart and you use it, or you have a heart and you don't, you know, and you make excuses not to use it. And those boys consistently use their heart and they act with their heart, and I think that's why we're standing on the stage 8 years later, and that's why we're going to watch the 13th season of that damn show that should have never lived that long. A show, hour-long drama with 2 male leads to live 13 seasons. I don't know if there's any other show in history that's ever done it. Maybe one. But
can't think of any.
Karma, compassion, and family, that's J squared to me. So. And Misha, J2M, I should say. Is that how you guys? It's J2M, right? Thank you so much for your question.
Thank you for the answer.
Of course. Hi.
Hi, Matt. I'll take the apple juice if she doesn't take it. Just say. No, I'm kidding.
I will literally bring it over to you, and you will hate what's in it.
To keep the level up of the alcohol, like just don't get into the hangover.
No, you better drink some water today, okay? So drink some water, and take your vitamins, and eat some vegetables.
Yes, I will. Thanks.
But we have 2 more days of this chaos.
Right. So my question is, I love seeing the friendships forming between the actors who weren't even on the same episodes,
Yeah.
like on the convention tours. So my question would be, what do you think someone has to have, like a certain trait or characteristic to make them stick on the convention tour and get closer to you guys?
I think they have to be willing to blur the line between what is considered fan and celebrity. You know, I think you have to be willing to, you know, give to you guys more than just, here's your autograph, here's your picture, give me your money, go home. I think that you have to be willing to share a piece of you and a piece of your heart, and I think all these people do it. I think Supernatural has become like this crazy, just like this exceptional life experience for you guys and for us, all at the same time. You know, I was talking about this the other day, and I was like, with these guys that I know, especially in this circumstance, like Adam I met yesterday, David, Sasha I met yesterday, you know, these are just good people that are around and they have good hearts, and like in a matter of hours, it was like I'd known those guys for my whole life. It was the same thing with Jensen, Jared, Misha, the Marks, you know, everybody, all the girls involved. I mean, we have become a family, and I think it's because we care tremendously about the show continuing. We care tremendously about one another, as if we're brother and sister or family, true blood family, and we care a whole lot about what we give to you guys rather than what we take from you guys, you know? So I just think it's that. I think it's, in this business, it's very easy to take because a lot is given to you, you know, in the entertainment world, in Hollywood, money and items and art, you know, material things, but it's about what you give back that makes you great. It just is what it is. You could be a mediocre actor, but if you give your heart and soul to the people that support you, you're a great person, you know.
Yeah, and we appreciate you for that.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. It's a big family, and you guys, it's now your job to tell the rest of the people that aren't in this room right now, which is most of you, how important it is that they cherish our family, our Supernatural family, man. It's a big deal. It's a bigger deal than the newcomers might believe. So we got to make sure all the newbies understand that. Well, who's new in here still? Anybody? Any new? Welcome to the weirdest family you've ever been involved in. You'll always be taken care of here. You'll always find a friend here, and you'll always find comfort and acceptance somehow. So you're really lucky to be part of it. Hi, you over here.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. So you were just talking about season 13, and that made me want to ask you this question. So if you do come back, which would you prefer, as John or as Michael? And from your point of view personally, how would you think from these characters, John or Michael, how would that affect the storyline that's currently going?
Well, the storyline would get much better because I'd be in it. That is an impossible question to answer. If they brought me back as Mary Winchester, I'd be happy. You know, it doesn't. I love playing Michael. He has no rules, and I just got such a small taste of him, you know, in that episode, and then kind of a small taste of like Lucifer in the baby episode. Any character on that show, just to be on that show is such a, you know, it's just an exciting, fulfilling experience. You're working with people you love, you're doing it for a show you love, for fans that you love. It's just so positive. So to pick Michael or John, I couldn't. I mean, I have reasons to love both, right? Michael is interesting, edgy, and he's an archangel, so essentially he has no rules on his acting. Young John is naive and honest, and it's in the 1970s, you know, which is a fun time to play young John, although I've aged a bit, so maybe it would be like late 70s, early 80s if you brought him back. Does anybody know when the year John died, by any chance? Does anybody know that? I'm ashamed of you people. No, I don't know, but either one would be great. What is it? Scream it.
2006.
2006. Are we sure?
Yeah.
Right, 2006. So, yeah. Sometime in between then and there, I could play a slightly older version of Young John, maybe, before he goes fully dark and becomes the person you guys all love to hate and hate to love. I don't know. any character on the show would be a pleasure, you know. Let it be John, let it be Michael. Just bring me back, all right?
I really hope you come back.
Just bring me back. Let me tell one more story on that show. Let me do one more scene on that show. When they called me to do Baby, it was like the best day ever. I was so excited. I was filming How to Get Away with Murder, and this is what we did. I filmed How to Get Away with Murder Wednesday morning to Wednesday late in the wee hours, to like 2, 3 a.m. into Thursday morning. I got on a plane at 6 a.m., flew to Vancouver, went straight to the set, sat in a car with Jared for 7 hours trying to film that scene, filmed it, went straight back to the airport, and then went to a convention in Minneapolis. So it was a wild, wild, tired time, but I think that's kind of why I liked the episode so good. It was honest. It was my, kind of like my most honest portrayal of that moment that I could bring. Because when there's something that happens to actors when you get so tired, when you've worked for 20 hours or 18 hours on set, your creative mind kicks into the most honest place it can be, because that's all you have is the energy to just be in that moment, you know? Just be in this scene, in this car, with this boy. That's all you have left. And so I'm super proud of Baby, and I have no idea why I went on this tangent, but this is where we are now. So thank you for your question. Did I answer your question, I guess? John, Michael, they're both awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
I really hope you come back.
Me too. And you know what? I think I'll be back. Honestly, in my heart, I will tell you this. I have a gut feeling, I have a good gut feeling, and I always follow my gut, that there will be at some point, somehow, some way, an R2M episode with Richard, Rob, and me in the same episode. Yes, it's a dream, and yes, I've read plenty of fan fiction about it. Doesn't mean it can't be reality, all right? So keep our fingers crossed for the G-rated, the very innocent version of that episode. Thank you again. Very good question. Hi there, how you doing?
Hi, good morning. I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic.
I wanted to ask you, as an actor, are there any performances that stand out for you or inspire you from film or TV over the years?
Yes, there's so many, obviously. The countless numbers of acting performances I'm astonished by. Most recently I watched this movie Lion. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it. It was up for some Oscars. It may have won. I'm pretty sure it won. You guys should see this movie Lion. It's this beautiful story about these two brothers who were kind of separated and raised by separate families when they're very young, and then it's the one brother's journey to find the other brother, and it's just, I cried like 10 different times in the movie. It was so good. If you don't want to cry, don't watch it, because you will cry, I assure you. If you watch it and don't cry, you should talk to somebody, because your emotions are screwed up. But it's really good. You should check it out. What else is out there? I'm a huge Moana fan. I know, like, I'm trying to get Richard on board. You know, all my buddies that have kids, I'm like, have you seen Moana? It's just the most powerful woman I feel like Disney has ever presented is this Moana lead character. She's taking over her father's position as chief on this island, and the music is spectacular, and there's this giant golden crab that sings a great song, and The Rock is in it. We all know who The Rock is, right? He's an international mega super maniac muscle star. I don't even know what you call him. He gets his own definition, but you would never think that an ex-wrestler could be such a charismatic cartoon, and he just steals the show. So performance-wise, everybody in Moana really stole the show for me. I know the lead character who plays the lead girl is actually, I believe, a Hawaiian girl, and she does a tremendous job, and The Rock, and everybody that's in it. I forget the guy's name, but have you seen the movie?
Yes.
Tamatoa, the big crab. It's one of the guy from Flight of the Conchords, and I just think he's literally in the movie for one scene, and he's so funny. It's good. Listen, if you take anything from this panel, it's that I love you people. I think Jared and Jensen are handsome, and you should see Moana, all right? Those are the three main details of this panel. Other than that, you don't have to remember any of it. You. Hi.
You good?
I'm doing fantastic.
Great. Well, my question is, what do you think young John's reaction would be if he met older John? Supernatural?
First of all, I'll tell you what Matt Cohen's reaction would be. He would be super excited to be in an episode. This is my other dream episode, right? So my other dream episode, besides the R2M episode, is young John and older John and the boys. And for some reason, they're either working as a team or nemesis against each other for some reason. So as if it were Dean and Jeffrey Dean, Jensen and Jeffrey Dean and Jared and myself. I know, there's like too many of the names here. Just, do I call him Sam? Do I call him Dean? Do I call him Jared? Do I call him Jensen? I don't know. But I have this like mega episode where we're either battling each other or battling people as a group. That one will probably never happen, unfortunately. But I guess I can't say that, right? I mean, we're doing a Scooby-Doo episode next season, so anything can happen, I guess, at this point. Like if young John saw older John and knew that it was older John, or him, knew that it was himself looking at his older self, I'm pretty sure he would just freak out. I'm pretty sure he would just lose his mind. And I mean, imagine if you right now were talking to me and I was you in 20 years.
Yeah.
How would you feel? I mean, like how do you even react to something like that? I think it's so abnormal and so impossible that you would just freak out a little bit. I guess. We'll have to find out when they bring me back to the show. We'll have to see. Hopefully Jeffrey D. Morgan will be there and I'll have to play that scene. Hi!
Hi. You just mentioned that you were 7 hours in a car with Jared. There must be some stories there because, I mean...
I mentioned I was 7 hours in a car?
With Jared.
Yeah, in the... we're shooting?
He must have done something to you.
I will tell you, we actually talked about, I think, a new American football stadium that was being built. There were so many pages of important dialogue that we didn't have a lot of time to mess around. It was just, the director who filmed that episode is named Thomas J. Wright. He's a very well-known director. He worked with tons of famous people in Hollywood. He's been doing it for a long time. Anyways, when we shot that scene, there were so many different camera setups because obviously the story is being told through the perspective of the car. So we just had to do this like 6 or 7 page scene like 30 or 40 times, you know, or 20 times or however many times because it was just different setup after setup after setup after setup, and everybody knew I was on a time crunch because I had to get to a convention in Minneapolis, so it was, sadly there weren't that many jokes, you know, and never have I been on the set of Supernatural and has there been time to even play jokes. It's been such show up, let's work as hard as we can to get this done, and by the end of the day, we have just succeeded. We have just accomplished what we set out to accomplish, so not a whole lot of time for pranks. I will tell you, it was 2 sweaty dudes in a car because both of us sweat profusely when we sit down and do nothing. So there was that, but other than that, it was just nice. It was nice to be back behind that steering wheel, playing that character, or a version of that character, you know, strangely. Robbie Thompson, I called him when he gave me that script, and I was like, Robbie, what am I teasing? What is going to happen? Who is this supposed to be? And he wouldn't tell me anything. So in my mind, I immediately thought the only way to play it is to play a little bit of every character, right? So I played a little bit of young John, I tried to play a little bit of Michael, Gabriel, Lucifer, all in the same thing. And I got lucky because, you know, inevitably I was delivering a Lucifer message, you know, but I had no idea. I wanted so bad to be God. It was so, but then at the same time I was like, no, they couldn't possibly write me as God after Rob, like there's just no way. But everything in my guts, the way that I read the scene was a message from God, or a message from Lucifer, which plays almost the same way, you know, a little darker. But yeah, I thought for sure I was going to be God, and I was going to have to text Rob and apologize that I was given the most remarkable role on television of God. So I don't know. Thank you for your question.
Thank you.
Well, excuse me, miss, can I help you find your seat? What about your I mean, Pick a number. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. 3. No, it's her. It's her drink. 3, we're going with 3. And you're certain that that's... Yep, apple juice. Because it's the morning, I only like to give half cups of apple juice. Don't tell Danielle I'm doing this.
Ask for ID.
I will be fired. Do you have ID? What's the drinking age in this state, in this country? I don't know where I am, people. Yeah, of course I want your ID. I'm an undercover cop when I'm not on Supernatural. Oh, you forgot your wallet. I remember that one. How old do you have to be to drive in this country? 18. Where are you from? Oh yeah, when were you born? I feel like you've told this lie before. Everybody, cheers to this woman. She loves apple juice. Apple juice, nothing gets you going like a fresh cup of squeezed juice in the morning. I can assure you your day will only go downhill for me. I don't know what does that say, Jensen? Oh, that's why nobody's in here? It all makes sense now. Hey.
We had a meet and greet with Misha. So.
A meet and greet so that I get the panel during Jensen's photo op and a meet and greet. Well, it's nice to see you guys coming back in. Let me tell you what you missed, all right? What did we miss? I told a cool poop story. I just gave a shot of apple juice to an underage fan. You just don't tell the police. We talked about John and Michael coming back to the show and how I'd like to play any character on the show. Doesn't matter. I would panelists, of course. What else did you miss? That's pretty much it. My favorite karaoke song is Fresh Prince of Bel-Air theme song, as you probably know already. And I think that's all we went over. Is there anything else important that I forgot to fill in Krista here? Because it's important.
And Liana.
Oh, and Moana. We talked about Moana. I sang my one line of Moana that I like to sing. I've been standing at the edge of the water long as I can. You know what's even better? The crab song. Hold on, I'm gonna try to think of it. Who knows the crab song? Nobody knows the crab song.
Something about being shiny.
Am I like the only Disney nerd in this room? What is happening? No, but how does it start? It's like, Tamatoa hasn't always been this glam. I was a drab little crab once. There we go, I kind of, you know what? I'm gonna memorize it for tomorrow, how about that? That's a lie, I probably won't do that, so don't ask me in my next panel. Does anybody else have any questions? You're close to a microphone, do you want to ask a question? Make up a question. Any question, but say it in the microphone. You can ask me something that has nothing to even do with me. Yes. The crab song. Yeah, don't play it, because then everybody's gonna want me to sing it. Great. And what is your lovely question?
Who's your favorite other guest here?
You better turn that shit off. Who's my favorite guest here? You guys should look it up though, because this is a damn good song. My favorite guest at the convention?
Yeah.
How could you possibly ask me that question? I thought you were going to ask me something that wouldn't get me in trouble. So what if I said my favorite guest was like Adam or David or one of these people? That would not even
It's okay.
be right though. Oh, you guys are my favorite guests. You guys are my favorite guests. I couldn't imagine a better guest. I love guests that sit down and stare at me and point their phones at me. I really love guests that ask questions that I don't know the answers to into microphones. So yes, you guys are my favorite guests. Thank you so much for asking me a question.
Perfect answer, thank you.
You're very welcome. Hi, on this side. How are you?
Yeah, fine, thank you.
Okay.
I'm just a little bit nervous.
Don't be nervous. There's no reason to be nervous. If anybody should be nervous, it's me, because I know I'm not...
So I'm...
Oh, how did they smell good?
Definitely, yeah.
What was your picture? What kind of picture did you go for? What was the pose?
And the way we did yesterday.
The way we did yesterday? Big hug, squishy? Was it nice?
Very nice. I
You-
wanted to ask you a question.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry. Tell me, what's your question? I was trying to help you through your nerves.
Yeah, thank you. It helped. If you were us, for which actor or actress you would go for to a convention to and did photo ops and...
If I was a fan and I was attending a convention, who would I go to see?
Besides Jared and Jensen.
Besides Jared and Jensen?
Yes, right.
See, here's the thing. I'm a big Disney guy. I have a 2-year-old, so I'm like into the Disney stuff. So I kind of do go to a version of a convention whenever I have a chance, but my convention's called Disneyland. And I show up there and I take pictures with all these big sweaty furry animals. That's kind of like my convention. I don't know, man, there's so many actors. I mean, I would love to have a sit-down meet and greet with hundreds of actors. I'd love to pick their brains about all sorts of stuff. I'm currently infatuated with a show. I don't know if it's airing here yet, but it's a star show called American Gods. Has anybody heard of this? All actors on the show are amazing. Good morning, how are you? Good to see you. Did you just come from a Jensen and Jared photo op? What did it feel like? What, is your heart racing? I'm asking honestly. Yeah, she handled it no problem.
I can relate to that.
What the hell was I talking about? Oh right, Disneyland. American Gods. You see how my mind works? I go backwards, I lose one thought, I gain one thought, it's just terrible. So American Gods, if you haven't seen it, it's great. There's this guy on it, his name's Pablo Schreiber, I think that's his name. Raise your hand if you've seen the show. The leprechaun guy, you know who I'm talking about?
Matt Sweeney.
Yeah. What's Mad Sweeney is his name?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's my spirit animal. That is me if I was not a nice person and I just walked around fighting people with gold coins in my hand. But yeah, I'd love to sit down with him and go, how the hell did you play Mad Sweeney on American Gods and Porn Stash on Orange is the New Black and do both to the point where just about every audience member hates you thoroughly. Like, he is just so good at playing the bad guy. It's incredible. Guys, go see American Gods if you haven't seen it. It's a new series. I believe we're on episode 3. They're all incredible. Also, if I haven't said this before, don't forget to watch Moana. Thank you for your question.
Thank you for your answer.
Of course. Hi.
Hi.
I hope your
Oh, that's
question's
really bad.
so good. Did you just get back from a Jared and Jensen photo op?
No, I had a Jared auto and a Misha auto, so
Jeez.
it wasn't
I'm-
nerve-wracking.
Just so you guys know, I am hosting a shirtless, pantless karaoke party during Jared and Jensen's panel. It'll be outside, it'll be not in this room. So go look for the naked Matt Cohen. I'm kidding, that's not true. Come to their panel or they'll both beat me up. Your question.
I have 2 questions.
It's
The
also,
first
it's also not true, they can't beat me up, I'm their dad.
So the first question is, what's your favourite colour?
Black.
Cool. And the second question is that is there anything that you'd want to know about your fans? As in, like, if you could ask fans questions, what kind of things would you want to know about us?
Wow, that's a good question. We do, in meet and greets, we often like to do the, like, where are you from, what do you do, and then we like to do something creative with you guys, like make up a weird, what your porno name would be, or your craft beer, or the name of your new record, or stuff like that. So I'm always very interested in what you guys do and where you come from, because we're such a vast group of people. You guys travel from all over the place to hang out, and everybody seems to be pretty damn nice, which is kind of crazy, because I don't know, you just never know. I guess being from America, I'm a little bit tainted because there's so many assholes in my country. I'm not speaking on all of them, I'm just saying, like, I guess, okay, here's the thing. I take that back. Let me retract that statement. That was an alternative fact. I'm gonna say where I work and where I live in Los Angeles, there's an outrageous number of assholes in that city. I think that's the thing. So when I travel abroad and I see, like, I was in France 2 weeks ago and the people were so lovely, and then Australia, and they're great. The way their dialects keep me laughing all day. And in Rome, like, you guys dress really well at this convention. It's just like feels like such a classy event, you know? Like, so I think it's interesting to know where you guys come from. It's also interesting to know what you guys do. There's so many people in the fandom that does so much for charity and gives back. So, you know, there's so many nurses and so many doctors, so many people that work with children. You know, just so many interesting jobs that make us realize how important you guys are and how we should support you and everything you do the same way you support us and everything that we do, you know? So, are we good? Should I do something? I'm not sure what's happening now, but something is happening. And there's lights, so yeah, start clapping, that's cool. Gil McKinney, ladies and gentlemen, Gil McKinney. I want to run to you and jump on you like the scene from The Notebook where Noah and Allie kiss, but I won't do it because you're my dad and it's fucking weird.
You can give me a big hug. How's that?
I'm so proud of you, boy.
Guys, Gil McKinney, am I hanging up?
Yeah, you're hanging with me for a second.
Let me tell you what we've been going over so far.
Okay.
First of all, Jared and Jensen had a photo op, Misha had a meet and greet, so there was 9 people in here to start off.
Sounds about right.
We're slowly filling the room. I'm actually glad the lights are back down now. We can't tell how empty it is. So we can still feel important, Gil. It's okay.
But these people are here.
That's what matters.
Yes, that's what matters. Thank you for being here.
We've discussed lovely things. I shared a great poop story of my son.
Wonderful.
I like to start the morning out.
Oh, of your son.
Yeah, I didn't tell him my poop story. too many to tell. I couldn't possibly pick.
That's a weird way to start the day, but you know.
I mean, it depends who you are, but you know. So we had a poop story.
Macklin poop story.
Macklin poop story. Have you seen the movie Moana by any chance?
No, I haven't yet.
Damn it, Gil!
Well, here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. I'm a grown man.
You're also a real-life Disney prince, so I expect you to see those type of... Like when ABC, you know, ABC announced the live-action kind of animated Little Mermaid they're doing, right?
Yes.
I
haven't heard of this.
They just
I've heard of the
announced-
Aladdin one.
No, they just announced it last week. It's ABC. It's going to be live. It's both theatrical and mixed with animation. And immediately I thought, wow, Gil should play that, but I'm going to tweet ABC and say, cast me instead.
And as you should.
As I should. I
yeah.
did. It's not that I don't care about you, Gil. I just want all the money and jobs for myself. So.
Well, I have not seen Moana. I have a baby girl now, and I'm really excited to watch that with her.
My dad is a real dad.
Yeah.
It's kind of.
So there's actually a lot. I love Disney movies, but there's a lot that I haven't seen, and I'm looking forward to watching them with her. So
You will enjoy it thoroughly.
yeah, I hear it's great.
It's really, honestly, all BS aside, it's the best Disney movie I've ever seen.
Really?
Really, like that good. Rich hasn't seen it, and he knows every song and every piece of dialogue from the movie Frozen. And I'm like, Rich, I need you to see this. Every time we do a panel, there's a funny bit.